Have you ever found yourself standing in a grocery store aisle, staring at the same brand of cereal you've been buying for years and wondering when it got so expensive? Or maybe you've opened your electricity bill and felt your heart skip a beat. You're not alone. With prices going up faster than our retirement checks, more and more folks over 60 are finding themselves needing to make their dollars stretch further than ever before. But here's the good news: you don't have to sacrifice comfort or joy to stay financially afloat. There are simple, smart ways to manage your money better, without giving up the little things that make life sweet. In this video, we're going to explore some of the most practical, effective money-saving tips specifically for older adults living through this tough economy. Whether you're already retired or thinking about it soon, this advice could make a big difference. Let's start with something many of us overlook: monthly subscriptions. You know the ones: streaming services, fitness apps, magazines you barely read anymore. They seem harmless at $5 or $10 a pop, but they really add up. Just last week, I sat down with a friend who's 68. We went through her bank statement together and found over $120 a month in subscriptions she forgot she was even paying for. That's over $1,400 a year, enough for a relaxing vacation or a whole lot of groceries. Take a few minutes today to scan your statements. Cancel anything that doesn't bring you real value. It's a small step that gives you an instant win. Another money-saving trick? Embrace community resources. From discounted or free fitness classes at the senior center to food co-ops and local events, there are so many options designed just for older adults. I spoke to a gentleman last month, 72 years old, living on a fixed income, who saves nearly $300 a year by attending free local workshops where lunch is included. And you know what else? He's made more friends in the last 6 months than he had in the previous 5 years. Social connection and financial relief? That's a win-win. Now, let's talk food. Grocery costs have soared lately, but with a little planning, you can eat well without breaking the bank. Try planning your meals around what's on sale rather than what you feel like eating that week. Use a slow cooker or an air fryer. Both can help you stretch ingredients into multiple meals. Buy in bulk when it makes sense, especially for pantry staples, and don't sleep on store-brand items. Most of the time, they taste just as good and cost significantly less. And here's something that often gets missed: ask for the senior discount. Seriously. You might feel a little awkward at first, but there is no shame in it. You've earned every bit of that discount, and it's yours to use. From restaurants to pharmacies, retail stores to cell phone carriers, lots of places offer lower prices for folks over 60. One woman I spoke to saves about $40 a month just by showing her ID and asking the magic question: "Do you offer a senior discount?" Multiply that over a year, and you're looking at nearly $500 in your pocket, just for asking. Alright, now that we've covered how to trim the fat on subscriptions, tap into community resources, eat smarter, and embrace your well-deserved discounts, we're starting to build a foundation. And believe me, it gets even better from here. Now that we've talked about cutting out wasted expenses and getting more from your community, let's move into some habits that can make a real, long-term difference, not just in your budget, but in how you feel about your finances. Let's start with something a lot of us avoid: negotiating. You might think, negotiating? At my age? But trust me, you'd be surprised how many companies are willing to lower your bills if you just ask. I once sat with a retired couple who called their internet provider and simply said, "We're on a fixed income and need to cut costs. Is there anything you can do for us?" 10 minutes later, no joke, they were on a new plan that saved them $40 a month. That's $480 a year just for making one phone call. The same goes for insurance, especially auto and home. If you've been with the same company for years, they may have quietly raised your rates. Give them a call, tell them you're shopping around, and see what happens. Or better yet, use a comparison site to check current offers. I know one man, he's 74, who saved nearly $600 a year by switching insurance providers. That's not pocket change. Speaking of insurance, let's touch on healthcare. This is where a lot of money gets drained without us even realizing it. If you're on Medicare, take time each year during the open enrollment period to review your coverage. I know it's not exciting. Nobody loves reading through Medicare plans. But even a small change, switching from one plan to another that covers your prescriptions better, can save you hundreds of dollars a year. If you're unsure where to start, check with your local senior center or community health office. Many have volunteers or experts who will sit with you for free and walk you through your options. It's one of the best uses of an hour you'll ever spend. Now, let's talk about something that affects your wallet more than you'd expect: your home. Downsizing isn't always about moving into a smaller space. Sometimes, it's just about simplifying. Do you have rooms you rarely use but still heat or cool? Appliances plugged in that you never touch? Lights on more than they need to be? These small adjustments, using energy-efficient bulbs, unplugging devices, adjusting the thermostat, can lead to big savings over time. And if you are thinking about moving, don't rule out options like senior living communities or shared housing. Some of these places offer lower rent or maintenance-free living, and in some cases, even meals and transportation. One woman I met, a widow in her early 70s, moved in with two other women around her age, and together they saved money, shared groceries, and even took turns cooking dinner. What started as a financial decision turned into a new kind of family. Now, here's a mindset shift that can change everything: focus more on value than on price. Sometimes we get caught up chasing the cheapest thing, but that doesn't always save us money in the long run. Buying a $10 pair of shoes every 3 months costs more than buying a solid $40 pair that lasts a year. The same goes for food, clothes, and even household items. Look for things that last, things that give you the most value over time. Another gem? Learn to say no, kindly but firmly. You don't need to contribute to every fundraiser, buy every product your grandchild sells at school, or feel guilty about not giving money to everyone who asks. Being generous is beautiful, but protecting your own future is just as important. You worked hard for your money. It's okay to set boundaries and put your own needs first. These are not just budget tips. These are life strategies that help you stay independent, reduce stress, and feel more in control, even when the economy feels like it's out of control. Now that we've explored how to negotiate bills, reevaluate insurance and Medicare, optimize your home for savings, and shift your mindset toward value, you're already miles ahead of where most people start. Now that we've cleared some of the biggest money drains, things like bills, insurance, and home expenses, let's turn our attention to habits. Because sometimes, it's not about big changes. It's the little, everyday choices that really shape your financial life over time. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is to start using cash, or a debit card, instead of credit. Credit cards feel easy at first, but they're sneaky. You swipe, you sign, and you forget. And suddenly, your bill is higher than you expected, with interest tacked on top. But when you use cash, or money you already have, every purchase becomes a conscious decision. It puts you in control. It helps you pause and think, do I really need this right now? That one question can save you hundreds over time. And here's another habit worth adopting: meal planning. I know, it might sound like something for busy parents, but hear me out. When you plan your meals, even just 4 or 5 days ahead, you shop smarter, waste less, and spend far less on takeout or last-minute groceries. One gentleman I spoke with, he's 68 and retired, told me his grocery bill dropped by $200 a month after he started planning meals. That's $2,400 a year, just for writing down a few meals each week. And if you're already home a lot, why not cook more? There are easy, delicious meals you can make in 20 minutes. Rice, beans, fresh vegetables, these are budget-friendly staples that are good for your wallet and your health. Bonus? Cooking at home gives you a sense of rhythm and purpose. You know what's going into your food, and you feel proud of what you're making. Let's not forget community. One of the best-kept money-saving secrets for seniors is leaning into local resources. Your library is more than just books. It offers free internet, workshops, entertainment, even movies. Local churches and senior centers often host free meals, classes, fitness programs, and support groups. These aren't just free, they're fulfilling. They keep you connected, and being socially engaged actually helps reduce healthcare costs by keeping your spirits and health up. But the most important shift of all? It's emotional. It's letting go of shame around money. A lot of us were raised not to talk about money, to grin and bear it, to act like everything's fine, even when it's not. But here's the truth: asking for help, finding resources, being smart with your money, that's not weakness. That's wisdom. That's self-respect. That's power. So if you've ever felt embarrassed by your budget or worried that you don't have enough to enjoy life, let me remind you, enjoying life isn't about what you spend. It's about how you live. You can absolutely live richly on a modest income if you're intentional. Take joy in the simple things. A sunrise walk. A good book. A shared coffee with a neighbor. These moments don't cost a thing, but they're worth everything. Let's quickly recap the heart of what we've covered, not in a list, but in a feeling. You have more control than you think. You have more options than you've been told. And most importantly, you're not too late. It's never too late to get better with money, to feel lighter, freer, and more at peace with your financial life. If this video helped you, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. How are you saving money? What tips have worked for you? Share it below, because you never know who you might inspire. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe. We've got more videos coming that are full of smart, doable, and uplifting ideas to help you thrive at every stage of life. Until then, take care of yourself, stay wise, and remember, the best version of your life is still ahead. Here's to living fully, freely, and fearlessly, no matter your budget.